At 80, I've seen enough of life to know some choices leave a lasting mark. One decision I made a few years ago still weighs on me, moving into an assisted living facility. Back then, it felt like the sensible thing to do. My kids thought it would keep me safe, and I was promised a worry-free life with all my needs met. I trusted that vision, but the reality, it was nothing like the brochures or the warm assurances. If you're watching this, you might be at a crossroads, maybe for yourself or someone you love. You might think assisted living is the practical choice, the one that'll bring peace of mind. But before you sign that contract, I want to share 6 hard truths I learned the hard way. These are the things no one tells you, the ones that change everything once you're inside. Stick with me to the end, because these lessons could shift how you see this choice. And if someone you know is weighing this decision, this video might be the wake-up call they need. Let's dive in. Truth 1. Your freedom isn't what it used to be. The first thing that hit me in assisted living wasn't the new bed or the community dining hall. It was how much of my freedom slipped away. At home, I had my rhythm. I'd wake up when I wanted, brew my coffee just the way I liked it, maybe step outside to feel the morning air. I could rearrange my furniture on a whim or stay up late watching old movies. But in assisted living, I learned fast that my days weren't mine anymore. There's a schedule, and it's not yours to set. Breakfast is at 8 a.m. sharp, whether you're hungry or not. Activities are planned, and if you want to do something else, good luck. Want to step outside for a walk? You might need to check with staff, and if they're busy, you're waiting. Even small choices like picking your dinner or deciding when to shower start feeling like requests you have to justify. I remember my first month sitting in my room looking at the clock. I wanted to make tea, but the kitchenette was just a microwave and a sink, no kettle, no stove. I asked a staff member, and they said they'd bring hot water when they could. That moment stung. My home, my quirky mugs, my ability to make tea whenever I felt like it, they were gone. The walls were clean, the furniture was fine, but it wasn't mine. The toughest part. Once you lose that control, it's hard to reclaim. You start accepting the rules, the routines, because fighting them feels pointless. But every time you do, a piece of you fades. If you're thinking about assisted living, ask yourself, are you ready to trade your freedom for structure? Because those little moments of choice, they're what make life feel like yours. Truth 2. The world moves on without you. Here's a truth that cuts deep. Once you're in assisted living, the world outside doesn't pause for you. When I moved in, my family promised they'd be there. My son said he'd visit every Sunday. My grandkids swore they'd stop by with stories from school. And, for a while, they did. Those first weeks, my room felt alive with their voices, but life is relentless. My son got a new project at work, the grandkids had soccer games, college applications, first jobs. Visits turned into phone calls, then text messages. One Christmas, I sat in the dining hall, watching families come and go, hoping my daughter would make it like she promised. She called instead, something about a last-minute trip. I understood, but it hurt. I saw it in others too. My friend Clara, 83, used to light up when her nephew came by, but after a few months, he stopped. She'd sit by the window, clutching a photo of him, waiting for a car that never pulled up. It's not that people stop caring. It's just that when you're not in their daily life, it's easy to think you're okay, that the staff has you covered, but you feel the absence. You feel forgotten. I had nights where I'd hold my phone wanting to call my son, but I'd stop myself. I didn't want to guilt him, so I'd sit there alone, wondering when I'd become someone they check in on instead of someone they share life with. If assisted living is on your radar, ask, are you ready for the quiet spaces where family used to be? Because love doesn't fade, but presence does, and it's harder than you think to stay in their world. If you're finding this helpful, drop number 2 in the comments to let me know you're with me. And if you haven't subscribed, hit that button and the bell so you don't miss what's coming. Truth 3. Purpose slips through your fingers. Moving into assisted living didn't just change where I slept, it changed why I got out of bed. At home, I had things to do. I'd tend my herb garden, knit scarves for my grandkids, even just sweep the porch to keep it tidy. Those tasks, big or small, gave me a reason to move to plan to feel needed. But in assisted living, those reasons vanished. Someone else cooks your meals. Someone else cleans your room. The garden, it's maintained by staff, and you're lucky if they let you water a potted plant. I thought I'd enjoy the break, no more dishes, no more laundry. But after a few weeks, the days started blending together. There was bingo sure and a movie night once a week, but it wasn't the same. I met a man named Henry 87 who used to restore old clocks. His hands were steady, his stories full of pride. In assisted living, he had no workbench, no tools. He'd sit in the lounge staring at the TV, his hands restless. "I don't know who I am without my work," he said once. I felt that too. Without my garden, my knitting, my small daily wins, I started feeling like a guest in my own life. The staff tried to fill the Timecraft sing-alongs, but it wasn't about me. It was about keeping us busy. Purpose isn't just doing things, it's doing things that matter to you. When that's gone, the days feel empty, and you start to wonder what you're still here for. If you're considering assisted living, ask what keeps you going, because once those anchors are gone, finding new ones in a place like that isn't as easy as it sounds. Truth 4, your body betrays you faster. Before I moved in, I was holding my own. I wasn't climbing mountains, but I could carry my groceries, walk to the mailbox, do a little yoga to keep my joints loose. Those habits kept me strong, kept me me. But assisted living changed that. Everything was done for you. Meals arrived on a tray. If I needed something from the other side of the building, an aide would fetch it. At first it felt like a luxury, no more lugging laundry baskets or scrubbing pots. But then I noticed my legs weren't as steady. I wasn't walking as much, just from my room to the dining hall, maybe a lap around the courtyard, if I felt up to it. Sitting became my default. My muscles, the ones I'd kept strong through years of small efforts, started to fade. Within 6 months, I needed a cane for longer walks. I saw it in others too. Margaret, 79, came in spry, always chatting about her daily strolls. A year later, she was in a wheelchair, her spark dimmed. She told me I didn't realize how fast you lose what you don't use. It's true. Assisted living makes life easy, but easy can be a trap. The less you move, the less you can. And when your body weakens, your confidence does too. I started second-guessing myself. Could I still manage stairs? Could I live alone again? If I'd known how quickly my strength would go, I'd have pushed harder to stay active, to walk more, to do what I could for myself. If you're thinking about assisted living, ask, will you fight to keep your body strong when everything's handed to you? Because once you lose ground, climbing back is a battle. If this is resonating, comment number 4 below to show you're still here. And if you're not subscribed, join us and turn on the bell. Your support keeps this channel going. Truth 5. Privacy becomes a memory. At home, I had my sanctuary, my bedroom door closed, and the world stayed out. I could read in peace, call a friend without anyone overhearing, take a bath when I felt like it. Assisted living stripped that away. From day one, I felt exposed. Staff popped in for checks often without waiting for a reply to their knock. Shared spaces meant you were rarely alone. Someone was always in the lounge, the hallway, the dining area. Even personal things like getting dressed or bathing sometimes needed an aide's help. I know they meant well, but it's humbling in the worst way to need assistance with things you've done forever. My first week, I wanted a shower. I pressed the call button, and an aide said she'd come soon. I waited 45 minutes sitting there feeling like a child asking for permission. Meals were another blow. You get what's served, no tweaking the menu if you're craving something else. And roommates. That's a gamble. I shared a room with Ellen, who was sweet, but left the TV on all night. Others had it worse, roommates who argued, wandered, or kept the space cluttered. Your room, the one place that's supposed to feel like yours, never really does. It's a corner of someone else's world, and you're reminded of that every time a staff member walks in or a roommate's habits disrupt your peace. Dignity erodes in those moments when you're treated like a task, when your space isn't yours, when your life feels like it's on display. If assisted living is in your future, ask, can you handle losing the private moments that make you feel whole? Because privacy once gone is hard to claw back. Truth 6, leaving isn't as easy as you think. When I signed the papers, I told myself it was a trial run. If I didn't like it, I'd go home. It sounded simple, but assisted living has a way of locking you in. My house was still there, but after months away, it felt like a relic. My kids had cleared out clutter, sold furniture they thought I wouldn't need. They talked about leasing it to cover costs. When I mentioned moving back, they worried. Can you really manage alone? What if you fall? I saw their point, but it stung. And then there was me. After a year of less activity, less responsibility, I wasn't the same. My stamina was lower, my confidence shakier. The idea of cooking daily or handling bills felt daunting. I met others who felt the same. Tom, 85, planned to stay 3 months. 2 years later, he was still there. His apartment was gone, his savings tied up in fees. The longer you stay, the harder it is to leave. Your old life fades your home, your routines, your independence. The facility becomes your world, and the outside feels like a dream you can't quite reach. Nobody tells you that moving in is a one-way street for many. If you're considering assisted living, ask, are you ready for the chance that this move might be permanent? Because the barriers, physical, financial, emotional, pile up faster than you expect. If this hit home, comment number 6 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed, do it now and hit the bell. Your support fuels these videos. Final thoughts. I don't regret aging. It's a privilege to be here. But I do regret thinking assisted living was the only path. I walked in expecting ease, security, a vibrant community. Instead, I found a life where my freedom, my purpose, my privacy slipped away, and leaving felt like scaling a mountain. Are all facilities like this? No. Some people thrive there, especially if they need intensive care. But for those who don't, it's a choice that reshapes everything. If I could go back, I'd have explored other options. Home aids, community programs, downsizing to a smaller place I could manage. I'd have asked harder questions about what I was giving up. If you're facing this choice, pause. Ask, is this what I need, or is it just the path that feels simplest? Your life, your routines, your space, your spark is worth fighting for. Hold on to it as long as you can. Thanks for watching. Drop a comment with one thing you learned today and how you'll use it. Your thoughts keep us going. If you found this valuable, subscribe and share. It helps us keep creating content to guide and inspire. See you in the next one.